The clone troopers, the once legendary soldiers of the Galactic Republic, were bred for war, trained to be the finest warriors the galaxy had ever seen. But their story did not end on the battlefield. When Emperor Palpatine issued Order 66, they became the instruments of the Jedi's destruction. Yet, what became of them after the dust of the Clone Wars had settled? Did they find new purpose, or were they simply discarded by the Empire that had once relied on them? Today, we uncover the fate of the clones after Order 66, an era of betrayal, exile, and an uncertain future. Act 1. The Aftermath of Order 66. After executing their Jedi generals, the clones were no longer an army of the Republic but enforcers of the Empire. However, unlike the Stormtroopers who would later replace them, the clones were individuals, men who had served side by side with the Jedi for years. Some followed orders without question, while others struggled with the weight of their actions. While some clones continued to serve the Empire as part of the newly formed Stormtrooper Corps, others were quietly retired, deemed too independent, too expensive to maintain. Their accelerated aging made them expendable, and soon their replacements, natural-born recruits, began to take their place. Act 2. The Rise of the Stormtroopers and the Fall of the Clones. The Empire recognized a fatal flaw in the clones. They were too good. They had been trained to think, to adapt, to be individuals, and that independence was dangerous to an emperor who demanded absolute obedience. Kamino, the birthplace of the clones, was deemed obsolete. The Empire had no need for its creators. When Kamino and scientists questioned the Emperor's decisions, the answer was swift and merciless. Operation War Mantle. With Kamino gone and cloning outlawed, the clones who remained had two choices: serve the Empire until their bodies failed them or vanish into the shadows of the galaxy. Act 3. The Fate of the Clones. Some clones, like the infamous Clone Force 99, the Bad Batch, refused to serve the Empire, going rogue and carving out their own destinies. Others, like Captain Rex, sought to help the fledgling rebellion, fighting against the very regime they had unknowingly helped create. Yet, not all clones had the luxury of escape. Many found themselves discarded, left to rot in forgotten corners of the galaxy. Some became mercenaries, bounty hunters, or enforcers for crime syndicates. Others simply faded away, living out their days in exile, haunted by the ghosts of their past. But perhaps the greatest tragedy of all was that, despite their sacrifices, the clones were all but erased from history. The galaxy moved on, and their legacy was buried beneath Imperial propaganda. Conclusion: the legacy of the clones. The clones were more than just soldiers. They were brothers, warriors, and ultimately, victims of a war they never chose. They fought for a republic that no longer existed, obeyed an empire that had no place for them, and in the end, they were forgotten. Yet their influence remained. The skills they passed on to rebel fighters, the lessons they left behind, and the few who resisted the Empire's control helped shape the future of the galaxy. But was their creation a triumph of science or a tragedy of war? Were they heroes, or were they merely weapons, used and discarded by those in power? What do you think? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the fate of the clones, consider subscribing for more explorations into the untold stories of Star Wars. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe the clones deserved a better fate? Or was their destiny always doomed? Until next time, may the Force be with you.